Well, our policy is not regime change, but we want to put unprecedented pressure on the government of Iran to change its behavior. And so far, they've shown no indication they're prepared to do that.
National Security Advisor John Bolton responding earlier today on America's Newsroom to President Trump hitting Iran with new financial pressure and renewing tough sanctions lifted under the Obama-era nuclear deal. They'll go into effect in 4 hours at midnight tonight. Joining me now is Governor Mike Huckabee, former Republican presidential candidate, now a Fox News contributor. As we await those sanctions to be reimposed at midnight, Governor, what effect will they have?
I think they're going to have a profound effect. Already, the Iranian people are suffering under this regime, and they have since 1979, when the radicals overthrew the Shah and staged a coup d'etat. Since that time, there has been very little other than sponsor of terrorism from this government. They're a rogue regime. They've killed Americans. They've kidnapped Americans. They've sponsored terrorism around the world. And it's time for them to be accountable for that and pay the price. That's what I'm hoping will happen. The
Iranian Foreign Minister of Islamic Republic of Iran, I should say, Zarif, he has responded to the administration's move here, Governor, and tweeted this. Trump administration wants the world to believe it's concerned about the Iranian people, yet the very first sanctions it reimposed have canceled licenses for sales of 200-plus passenger jets under absurd pretexts, endangering ordinary Iranians. U.S. hypocrisy knows no bounds. The president says he doesn't want to cripple the regime. He wants to change the rogue regime. Is that possible?
Probably not in the long run. I think the administration's position is the right diplomatic move to say we're not trying to change the regime, trying to change the behavior. But the truth is, unless the regime is changed, the behavior won't change. But the proper avenue to see that change is not for the U.S. to go in and intervene and overthrow that government. It's for the people to do it. And they almost did it in 2009. The Green Movement was an uprising, and they were looking for just a little bit of encouragement from the United States. And President Obama was absolutely stone cold silent, didn't say a word as 20-year-old women were bleeding in the street from gunshot wounds to the head. That's why this regime is emboldened. And I think we have to always separate the Iranian people from the Iranian government. The Persian culture is one of the most advanced and wonderful and just a beautiful culture from centuries. But this bunch of thugs have gone in and they've destroyed the antiquities. They've tried to erase the culture. And they've absolutely done nothing other than try to take these people back to the 7th century. And it's a sad, sad commentary on what's happened in Iran.
The importance of an open dialogue with Iran is a big question right now, and a lot of people weighing in on this. But here's the president saying he's open to meeting with Iranian leadership. Listen.
I would certainly meet with Iran if they wanted to meet. I do believe that they will probably end up wanting to meet, and I'm ready to meet anytime they want to.
Should we?
Probably not without some conditions. And if we do have a meeting, I hope the president knows that he can't trust one single thing they say. They've never kept a promise. One thing they've been is consistent, Sandra. Since 1979, when they took over the nation, they have not kept one promise, not one, that they have made. So I don't think we could expect them to start being good guys after all these years of being really, really bad guys.
Speaking of open dialogues, Senator Rand Paul thinks an open dialogue with Russia is important. I want you to listen to this and get your response to this today.
I am one who believes in more engagement, that we need to have more cultural exchange, more exchange between our legislative bodies, more open lines of communication.
He's invited Russian lawmakers to Washington, D.C., and according to his statement, they've accepted.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. I'm sure Adam Schiff will be there because there'll be a lot of cameras. There's no doubt that he'll show up for it. I just wonder if maybe Bob Mueller is knocking on Rand Paul's door tonight. It's an interesting concept to take it to a legislative level rather than just the two heads of state. But I think we always have to remember the Russians are really not going to try to do anything to help us. They're not our friends. We need to wake up every day, look in the mirror and say, the Russians are not our friends.
Governor Mike Huckabee, always good to talk with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra.